Here we are looking at a gas heater and all the components. First, once you have your input signal, you have W1, W2. These are your two heating stages. So depending how it is set up in the unit. If you have a heat pump, usually W1 is your compressor with the reversing valve. And then W2 would be your burners. And talking about the burners, let's say you have W2 activate. Here you have your ignition board. This is your spark ignition and all your other controls, your relays and stuff like that. Once you get your signal on a W2 for your burners, you have the board send a signal over here to your inducer fan motor, which turns on and creates a sort of a vacuum by pulling air through these tubes and pushing it out here, pulling air in through the bottom here. And you have this little tube that creates an air differential for this pressure switch. The pressure switch senses that the inducer fan is actually working. You also have a capacitor down here, which you can check, and sometimes those go bad and you can replace them and then it's good. Once this pressure switch senses that the inducer fan motor is on, it sends a signal back to your board telling it, hey, we're ready, we're primed, the inducer is running, you can turn the gas valve on. So once the board knows that the inducer fan motor is on, it sends a signal that turns on the spark. You can see it down there in the back. This is your spark. So it turns on the spark while at the same time turning on your gas valve. The gas valve, it sends 24 volts here, and then you can turn them on and off here. So have different settings, high and low. Usually they're already set up so you don't have to worry about it. The board will turn on the spark ignition and the gas valve pretty much at the same time. So now you have gas mixing with air in here, which creates the potential for combustion. And then you have the spark here, and you have your burners come on. And in many cases, your spark ignition also acts as a flame sensor. If you don't have a separate flame sensor, we have one all the way in the back there. I don't know if you can see it in the far corner over here. All the way in the back here, you have a flame sensor, and that is just a rod that is mounted here inside the flame stream that tells the board that you actually have flame, because you don't want gas that is not burning fill up the space and then cause a potential explosion hazard. And the last thing, you have a rollout switch here, which is in case something happens with the flame, there's some kind of obstruction, you don't have a good mixture, and your flame comes out here on the front. This overheats and it shuts off the power to everything, because you don't want flame coming back out. That's basically how all of this works.